Big news, guys. It doesn't look like that the MacBook Air with the M3 is the only products to come out in March time. So that leaves this week or next week for the release of the iPad Air with an M2 chipset inside of it. Today I want to go over the details on when we can get our hands on the new iPad Air and also tell you the latest on the iPad Air M2 release date and price. So, back in 2022, we had a surprise for the iPad Air as it got an M1 chipset inside it. It was and still is the cheapest Apple device to have an M1 chipset, even costing less than the Mac Mini M1 that came out about 15 months before. The iPad Air gives us great performance, good battery life, clear cameras and USB-C 3.1 speeds out of its port. But for the next iPad Air, we're expecting some changes. So for all the new iPad Air videos like this one that you're watching going forwards, I'm going to give you the latest details on specific leaks, and then also I'm going to give you the details of the planned release date and time, and then also a summary of all the models that we've heard about for the iPad Air and all of its features that we've heard about in previous leaks too. After this, I'm going to reveal my wish list for the next iPad Air and also put down in the comments below of what features you would love to see in the next generation iPad Air 2. So, one bit of interesting news that has come in very recently is that the new iPad Air will actually have a larger brother. We have the 10.9 inch model, but there's a possibility we could be getting, say, a 12.8 inch model, 12.9 inch model, what is based on the iPad Pro 12.9 model, but you'd get all of the same features that you get in the smaller iPad Air, just with a larger display. This is exactly what we get with the iPad Pros right now, and it looks like this has been replicated to the iPad Air, very similar to like what Apple did earlier in 2023 with the MacBook Airs 2, where we brought out a larger MacBook Air but has basically the same guts as the smaller model. So this is going to be quite interesting to see how this will do in sales in 2024. So next, the release date. So just very recently we've had here a report here from Mark Gurman, who is saying that there's going to be a special iPadOS 17.4 version for the iPad Pro and the iPad Air, and it needs to be worked on just a little bit more, and it probably won't be ready until the end of sort of March time, even into early April time as a possibility. So with that, it's looking likely that we won't see the new iPads coming out until the very end of this month or the beginning of April time. And in fact, we've actually had just a brand new leak just come in from Weibo, as you can see here, and it's saying that an event is going to be happening on March 26th. Now again, Weibo are not the most reliable of people, but it could be happening on that date. It does make sense and line up with Mark Gurman, but in either case, do expect the actual launch of this event to be at the end of sort of March time or very, very early April time instead. So then guys, I am super excited this week because we're going to be doing a live stream giveaway of this MacBook Air right here. It's come to that time. We're going to be doing the giveaway this Friday, and I'm so excited for it. It's going to be happening on Friday the 22nd, and that's going to be around about, say, 11 a.m. PST time. What's about 6 p.m. 1800 GMT time here in the UK. So you have to check out, which country you're in to see for this international giveaway. And I'm super excited for it because it's going to be happening, and you still got a chance to enter in. And all you have to do to enter in to get your hands on this MacBook Air is write down in the comments below of what technology or Apple technology you're still planning to buy in 2024. Put it down in the comments below. And also to tune into that live stream when it's all going to be starting and when it's going to be coming up on this channel, make sure that if you haven't done already, subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell too to get the more information on that. And also I just want to say as well, guys, for the actual specs of this MacBook Air, it's no ordinary one. If you've been following my channel already, this one here is the M2 MacBook Air, but it does have inside of it 16 gigabytes of RAM and also 512 gigabytes of storage, and also has the 10 core GPU core option as well. So it's more than the baseline 13-inch model that we normally get. So if you do want to enter in, you know what to do now, like I said, by leaving a comment, also making sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. But I also just want to say quickly, guys, still there's lots of scammers and spammers out there still people impersonating myself, telling you to part with money for shipping and things like this. This is not me at all. Please do ignore them, or better still, like you can see here, please do report them. So with the latest reports and details of the release date out of the way, let's now talk about the specs of what we're going to see for the iPad Air M2. As we have that new iPad Air, the larger one that could be coming, I'm not going to go fully into the details about that, but we're going to stick mainly with the 10.9-inch model and all the specs we're going to be getting there. So what we have been told so far for the iPad Air M2 is that obviously we're going to be probably getting a design that is either new or the same design that we have right now. However, the actual screen size will probably stay the same at 10.9 inch, and like I said before in other leaks, that it could be an OLED XDR display coming at a resolution of 1640 by 2360, and there's the possibility that this could be a ProMotion 120Hz display inside it for the first time with the iPad Air, especially moving over to that OLED technology. The storage options will be very similar that we have right now, and this will be a choice of 128GB or 512GB storage options. We will also be getting an M2 chipset inside it with 5G connectivity too, and this M2 chipset will be the standard M2, so this is the one with the 10 cores and also the 12 cores GPU inside it. Then on top of that, we'll be getting 8GB of RAM. There'll be no ability to upgrade the RAM to a higher amount, it'll just be 8GB. Then we'll also be getting an aluminum body or an aluminium body. Again, it will be having Touch ID power button like we have now on the main standby button that we've had for the last 2 generations. And this time though, there's a possibility that we could be getting dual cameras on the rear of the iPad Air, and this could be a wide and ultra wide camera, and then on the front we could be getting that center stage selfie camera, and finally this could be moving to a landscape orientation, and with that we could be also be getting dynamic island. Then on top of that, the battery size is probably going to be about the same that we're getting right now, with 7606 milliamps, but do remember that OLED display will also help with battery life, but the price then will start at $699 and go all the way up to $849. So with that summary out of the way for the iPad Air, let's talk about my thoughts and wishes. So my wishes for the iPad M2 this time around is not actually to do with the physical iPad Air, but actually to do more with the iPad OS, and I've said this in my iPad Pro video too. I'm hoping in 2023 we may finally get some Pro apps to fully utilize that M2 chipset and the M1 chipset made by Apple. So I'm talking like about those apps like Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro being ported to the iPad Pro and the iPad Air. At the end of the day, a M2 and M1 normal chipset can edit videos and music on a heavier macOS operating system, so I can't see why the iPad Pro or the Air can get Pro apps for a lighter OS and fully work on this too. But let me know your thoughts if you agree on this, and also write in the comments below of what your wishes would be for the iPad Air. And with that guys, it's time to wrap up this video. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please make sure to like this video, and at the same time if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, please make sure you hit the subscribe button followed by that notification bell. Until next time guys, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.